but ooh, it's limited capabilities of warming with all that snow sitting around, and that is actually setting us up for a pretty frosty forecast. I'm Betsy Kling alongside Jay Crawford on this Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah. Hey, Bets.
Hi.
Very good evening to you and to everybody watching at home. Thanks for choosing what's new. You talk about the power of that sun. This morning when I was plowing the walk, the snow was just dripping and melting off the roof because that sun was hitting it, heating it up, and
hitting the roof, yeah, that's everything.
Nice.
And that's actually kind of setting up some people for the possibility of some ice jams tonight.
Exactly.
Because all that melting's taking place as we have the sun. But as Matt is going to tell us, once the sun goes down, man, the temperatures are going to be dropping. And that is why we have a first forecast for you for tonight, because we not only still have snow, but that's what we're going to be seeing right there. Ice jams and icicles. We do have some winter weather advisories to talk about. Matt's joining us now with the latest on all of that. Hi, Matt.
Yeah, hey guys, definitely icicle weather with that melt and then that refreeze with the cold air around. Seeing them all over the neighborhood lets you know how efficient your heating is in your house for sure. But in terms of the snow, yeah, we've got some snow to deal with tonight. This is not area wide like the last couple snows. This is lake effect snow. We've got winter weather advisories out for Lake and Ashtabula County. That heads over towards the Erie area. In effect now, but really tonight is when we're expecting the impacts from this. No snow yet, still dealing with sunshine. Clouds are filling in quickly though. We've got a little area energy coming across Michigan, helping to kick off some lake effect snow over towards Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo, and we're going to watch that moisture come across our a little bit more frozen lake than what we've been dealing with several weeks ago. And again, that's going to kick off some lake effect snow tonight. As Betsy and Jay mentioned, all being driven by frigid air. We've got a very, very cold air mass moving in, and this has got some staying power with it. Feels like temperatures well below zero to our north and the west. This is what we're going to deal with not just tomorrow morning, but the next couple mornings. 5 degrees tomorrow morning for a low, 3 on Thursday. We do it all over again this weekend. We'll talk if there's any more snow chances beyond tonight's lake effect coming up in the forecast. Betsy.
All right, Matt, thank you so much. And we know, okay, it's the end of January. Yes, it does get cold, and we do get snow here in Northeast Ohio. And snow blowing, throwing, pushing, and shoveling are all a winter way of life. But it's still very difficult for some folks. So cue the good people in one community where they pride themselves on helping neighbors. Emma Henderson has the details on that. Hi, Emma.
Hi, Betsy. So this program is designed so that your elderly and disabled neighbors actually have a way to get their area shoveled for free. Now they have about 30 to 40 volunteers through Lakewood Alive, and the group has a backlog of several dozen more neighbors who are looking for assistance. So they're looking for more volunteers.
You think, how am I going to get my car out of the driveway, or how am I going to go to the grocery store or pick up a prescription? And just removing that barrier for their normal activity of the day is people are really, really grateful.
Now, this program is Lakewood specific, but the group hopes that by sharing their story, it inspires other people to take a few extra minutes to help their neighbors who are struggling with snow removal. And this isn't just about neighbors being nice. In Lakewood, you have 24 hours after that snowfall to clear your walkways and your driveway, or else you could face some hefty fines. So it's also about protecting your neighbors from that. Betsy?
I'll tell you, we had a neighborhood kid stop by the house. He's like, I'll shovel your front walk for $10. I was like, poof! No way, forget it. Too much, kid, sorry. So this is great,
a
free
young
option.
entrepreneur.
Definitely. All right, thanks so much, Emma. Stay warm.
Yeah, Betsy, that helps spur the economy. You know, you
Not
put
this
money
house,
back
buddy. I'm cheap. Forget it.
Hey, this is great news on the coronavirus front. Our numbers today are really down, and I mean big time. Our new case count today all the way down to 4,163. Now, just 5 days ago, that number was over 21,000. In fact, our 3-week rolling average is 20,000. So to see that number at 4,163 on a Tuesday, when the number is usually its highest of the week, that is great news. Also, the 14th day in a row, the hospitalization number has gone down. Today, there are 5,222 COVID-19 patients in Ohio hospitals. 2 weeks ago today, that number was at a pandemic high. It was over 6,700. So that number down over 1,500 in 14 days. Now, here in Ohio, and especially in Northeast Ohio, we were one of the first areas in the country to get hit hard by the Omicron variant. But As our case counts plummet now, the latest variant is still wreaking havoc in other parts of the U.S. Now Pfizer is starting a clinical trial for a vaccine that specifically targets the Omicron variant. Isabel Lawrence joins us now from the newsroom. Isabel, good evening to you. I know you spoke with doctors today in our area about what this potentially new shot could mean. What did they tell you?
Yeah, Jay, it's exactly what you said there. We were some of the first in the country to see just how hard and fast the Omicron surge hit. The good news is that doctors I spoke to today told me we are coming down the other side of the surge. And so they recognized that given clinical trials can take some time, a vaccine targeting Omicron may not be of much help to us right now. But for other states or even other countries going through or yet to go through the Omicron surge, this could be a helpful tool. Plus, the ability for scientists to use the mRNA technology in these vaccines to cater to specific variants could be extremely helpful in battling the virus in the future.
The very exciting things about this mRNA vaccine technology is that you can very quickly alter the details of the vaccine. It's really the same vaccine, but you can alter the protein the vaccine produces to give you a different immune response.
Yeah, and also important to note, though, Jay, that our current vaccines, they are still doing their jobs. They are decreasing the chance of hospitalization and severe infection. But again, we are seeing more of those breakthrough cases with Omicron specifically. So really, that's what Pfizer's targeting here.
I read a fascinating article earlier today, Isabel, that talks specifically about that. Nationally, we are seeing the number of daily vaccinations with that booster shot go down, and it's gone down dramatically. And experts believe that the thinking is because they've heard about so many cases, they believe that the vaccine isn't doing its job because everybody is still catching it. But doctors reiterate the job of the vaccine isn't just to protect you from catching it. More importantly, it's to keep you from getting sick and dying. That's why it's still very important that folks do get that booster. Isabel Lawrence, live from the newsroom on What's New. Isabel, thanks.
You know, every now and then here on What's New, we have to tell you some of the bad news along with the good news. And no matter what the reason is that you've gone to the IX Center in the past, chances are you've taken a ride on the Ferris wheel. But soon, that will no longer be an option.
Yeah, that's hard to believe, too. Leaders plan to get rid of the very popular attraction to make way for a new era. Our Brandon Simmons joins us now with more on this. Brandon, good evening to you. It looks like this is the end of an era at the IX Center.
Yeah, definitely the end of an era, Jay. This one is a bummer for a lot of people, really. After more than 30 years, the Ferris wheel will be no more. And that's because changes are really coming to the IX Center as a whole as part of a much larger renovation project. Now, the Ferris wheel, whether you like it or not, was the obvious centerpiece of every show that went on at the IX Center. It stood at 125 feet tall and protruded through the roof of the building. But now they're going to have to take it down as there are plans to build a dividing wall to actually split the show floor space into different sections so that the building can be used more efficiently. So most events that come to the IX Center right now aren't able to use all of that event space at one time. Now, many will be sad about the Ferris wheel's departure, including the folks who run the facility.
We don't want it to go away. We wish we could keep it inside this building and create more memories. But again, just by right-sizing the space, looking at what is the best use of this space? And unfortunately, that just does not fit within the footprints.
Now, there is some good news out of this. The Ferris wheel will not be demolished. It's going to be taken apart and moved to a new location, hopefully somewhere here in Northeast Ohio, but they're still working to determine exactly where it'll end up. Now, those renovations we talked about at the IX Center will begin in April, and they should be done by October of this year. And the Ferris wheel will have to be taken down at some point during that time frame, Jay and Betsy. And I know we all have memories there. I have pictures with my kids on the Ferris wheel, although they were scared at times. They're still little, but a lot of us are going to miss seeing it there at all of the shows. And like I said, it was the centerpiece for everything. You couldn't miss it.
Yeah, it's going to be. Do we know if that skylight is going to go too? Because the little structure that goes above the roof, so the Ferris wheel could fit in it.
Yeah,
I
that's
guess
something
they don't need that now.
Yeah, I would assume that would go away because I would think it would be kind of weird to have it there and not have the Ferris wheel sticking up through there. But
Right.
that's something we're not completely sure of. But again, we know they're using the IX Center space in a lot of different ways. We know Gojo moved in and started to have some production stuff there. So they're really trying to be efficient about what's happening there.
Well, Brandon, you mentioned taking your girls on the Ferris wheel. It's been a tradition with my girls, too. I actually posted a picture. This was Violet's first whirl on the old Ferris wheel there. And it's that moment when you get to the top and your hair kind of comes up just a little bit. I posted that on my Instagram feed. And, man, that I go back to that every now and then. And just that moment where it's that feeling like, oh, and you see the airplanes and everything. It's hard to believe it's going to go away.
I know, it is. It's hard to believe that it's gone, just turning a page to a new era at the IX Center. So Brandon said they're going to take it down and put it back up somewhere else, perhaps somewhere in Northeast Ohio. Do you have a dream location for where you would like to see it go up?
I mean, I would think something like the Western Reserve Historical Society would look at that as a piece of Northeast Ohio bit, right? Especially with the IX Center logo on it right in the middle. Yeah. Most certainly they have the Ferris wheel or the merry-go-round there. So if they have a massive expansion project, throw a Ferris wheel in.
I have the perfect place. I'd like to see it behind the center field wall at Progressive Field. Imagine watching a baseball game from the top seat of the Ferris wheel. That would be fun.
Or catching a home run ball in the Ferris.
That would be a long home run.
That'd be the dinger for sure.
It's pretty cool, though. I hope it does pop up somewhere else in Northeast Ohio.
Good conversation. All right, coming up for us, a first look at the jerseys the NBA All-Stars are going to be wearing here in Cleveland. The jersey designs were leaked online today.
Yeah, we'll tell you what the critics are saying about them. Plus, selling songs. Bob Dylan has sold his entire catalog of recorded music. We're going to tell you all the details. That's coming ahead in Pop Break.
So, Matt, you gave us a little preview of the forecast, but we're going to go more. I'm sorry.
Just clear out some room in the backyard for a Ferris wheel, honey. Yep. Lots of space. Okay, thanks. I'm sorry, guys. It was bad
Party
timing.
at Matt's house.
Bad timing. Yes, what were you saying, Betsy?
Mr. Wins, can we have another ride?
Yeah, right. A quarter per neighbor. That's the way we're going to go. You don't want to be on the Ferris wheel now, though, guys. It is a chilly night, and we've got a couple chilly nights out ahead of us. In fact, we've got some lake effect snow that will be developing over the next couple hours. We'll keep an eye on that. We've got your cold forecasts and some light at the end of the tunnel coming up.
They're really good about it. All right, the 2022 NBA All-Star Game is, of course, going to be played right here in Cleveland. And, Bets, we're less than a month away from the big game. Excitement's building, not just because of that, but because the Cavs are in the thick of the playoffs.
Right.
Playoff race. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And now we're getting a little sneak peek. These weren't supposed to be released yet, but we're getting a sneak peek at what the jerseys look like. Here they are. Pictures of these jerseys have been making the rounds on social media, and today, sportslogos.net confirmed that these are indeed the jerseys that the players are going to be wearing in the All-Star game here in Cleveland. Now, if you don't exactly love them, you're not alone. The jerseys are getting underwhelming reviews online, and Bets, I think the thing that most caught my attention is the jerseys and the logo usually centers around the host city. But there is nothing that is specifically Cleveland about this look.
Those are terrible.
They look like, you know what they look like? The first thing
I'm sorry, I'm just going to blurb it out. It's terrible. I wouldn't wear those in junior high.
You know what they look like? Do you remember? I don't know, in gym class, if you had two sets of jerseys for kickball or dodgeball or whatever, they were just a real generic, almost a practice jersey.
Yeah.
And to me, when I first saw that, I go, oh, those are cool warm-ups or practice jerseys, but where's the actual game jersey?
What's with the 6 stars? 6? There's 5 on the court on each team. Nothing makes sense on that.
And you can't.
My
look
brain
at that
is
and say,
hurting
oh,
right now
Cleveland.
with how bad those are.
I know. I don't like that at all.
Why couldn't they put the NBA logo in the terminal tower?
That would have been fantastic. I bet, Matt, we got to get Betsy a job with the NBA
Why did they not talk
committee.
to me about this? I am salty about that right now.
I am too.
I mean, think about tens and tens and tens of millions of dollars of economic impact.
Yeah.
And we can't even get our city on the frigging jersey.
So what you're saying is you're not going to be buying one of these?
I am not buying one. I'm very proud that we have the game, though. And I will support the game and all of the events around the game.
Yeah, I will too. I just wish the jerseys looked better. Matt, your weather word today is jersey.
I kind of like them.
You do?
Yeah, they kind of look like a practice jersey. Look like they might stink a little bit, but that's just
right. They look like you use it and then you throw it back into the cardboard box until the next class comes in and they grab it out and they wear it.
Oh man, do you remember those?
That's what I'm telling you. That's what they remind me of.
Pennies. I hated wearing pennies.
Pennies. That's exactly.
Remember pennies?
Got it. I'm getting you guys.
Girls don't get to do shirts and skins, so we have to have pennies.
Pennies.
Just saying it like it is.
Yep, that's the way it goes.
Baller here.
Anyway, all right, weather-wise, it's going to be cold tonight. We've got a little bit of snow on our way as well. Lake and Ashtabula County, you guys got to work that out up there. Really, this isn't going to be a widespread event. Most of us just dealing with cold over the next couple days in terms of snow. Yep, it's Lake and Ashtabula County. There's a little model discrepancy on if some of the snow tonight gets into northern Geauga and eastern Cuyahoga County. For now, Weather Service going with those winter weather advisories out through tomorrow morning. Beyond tomorrow morning, should see much in the way of problems. Lake snow going real good out towards Buffalo now. What we're waiting on is some of this moisture coming across Lake Michigan. There are some openings in the ice on the western basin of the lake, so that allows a little bit more evaporation. So we could get some of these snow bands going here as we get in the latter half of the evening. Your National Zymart hour-by-hour forecast picking up that snow by 9 or 10 o'clock. Perhaps a main band heading into Ashtabula over towards Erie and Crawford County. May see a little bit of additional snow activity kicking up here across Cuyahoga County later on tonight. Look how cold we are outside of the snow belt. Clouds will give way to some clearing. We're going to go below 0 as you get inland tonight. Very, very cold tomorrow morning for that commute. Lake snow should wind down as we go throughout the morning hours. We warm to a very comfortable 15 or 16 degrees tomorrow. That's about it. And you can see as we go into the evening, we're clearing skies out. That's a recipe for an even colder night tomorrow night. Thursday morning looks to be the coldest out of our stretch right now. So in terms of snowfall, you can see where it's painting the snow out towards the east. I think highest totals, again, where that snow persists, but will be in Lake and Ashtabula County. Could squeak out 3 to 5 inches of snow if we get these bands to develop. I do think they will. Time will tell here this evening. Frigid air all across the eastern half of the country. Boy, we're getting a good dose of this the next 2 days. It'll reload on Thursday. That'll be our warm day in the 20s. And then it comes at us again Friday, Saturday. That is on the heels of a monster storm system out east. But in terms of the cold, the next 2 mornings are going to be the coldest. There's our break Friday morning. We're back to the cold for the weekend, below 0 as you get inland. In terms of this, boy, as you head up the eastern coast, we've got cold air that's going to settle in here. But as you get over towards Jersey, we're going to have some heavy snow there as this big system heads up. Just a massive snowstorm this weekend on the East Coast. It worked, right?
Hey, we didn't say how to use the word
Jersey.
That was good.
A huge storm. We'll talk more about that next half hour. Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecast. We remain cold until next week. Pattern changes, and we could be dealing with some decent storm systems around here in the next couple weeks. Back to you guys.
Hi Al, how are you? We're just gonna chat about, things that Bob Dylan is doing. I can't get this stupid button.
All right now it's time to get you up to speed on headlines from the entertainment world. And for that, we welcome in Kira Cotton from our newsroom with our Tuesday Pop Break.
And Kira, what do you have for us today?
Hi Jay and Betsy, this first story is super interesting. It's like the hot new trend for established artists. Bob Dylan is the latest celebrity to sell his catalog. The man behind Like a Rolling Stone and The Times Are A-Changing has sold his entire catalog of recorded music to Sony in a landmark agreement. While the specifics are unknown, it is estimated that the catalog is worth roughly $200 million. And this isn't the first time the 80-year-old has had a bout with big deals. In 2020, he sold his entire catalog of songs to Universal Music. Throughout his career, Bob Dylan has sold more than 125 million records and continues to perform worldwide. And hip-hop artist Cardi B is on the come-up. After nearly 3 years, the music superstar has won her federal libel case against YouTube blogger Tasha K. The lawsuit, first filed in 2019, accused Tasha of making malicious claims against the Grammy Award-winning rapper. Yesterday, Tasha K was found liable for libel, invasion of privacy, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Cardi B was awarded $1.25 million in damages. And there's a new Jeopardy record holder in town, and she just so happens to be an Ohio native. Last night, Amy Schneider won her 39th game, breaking the 38-game record set by Matt Amodio last October. Amy is now the second in the game show's history for most consecutive wins, behind current host Ken Jennings. He holds the top spot with 74 wins.
It feels, still unreal. I'm still looking forward to seeing it happen on TV, to know that it happened.
Amy's winnings total $1,319,800, and Jay and Betsy she'll have a chance to see if she can keep that winning streak going tonight.
Yeah, we're pulling for her. I mean, it's always good to see someone from Cleveland on the national stage break through, and wow, it's been great so far.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Very
Thanks, Keith.
exciting. Thanks, Keith. Well, today's Worth the Watch is actually a video that resurfaced from last winter. Then, 5-year-old Parker was ready to help Connecticut plow truck drivers with the snow. So he hopped in his battery-powered truck, had a little snowplow on the front, and cleared off the snow. Thank you to our What's New Facebook friend, Annette Peldich, for sharing this adorable video on our page. And I'm sorry if I butchered your name.
That's pretty cool right there.
It's all about the blinky light for me.
Yeah, I love it. I just, he really feels like he's getting her done.
He is, look at that.
He is. And, Ohio, earlier this winter, we were kind of in a shortage of snowplow operators.
Right.
And I wouldn't want to put him out there on a busy street, but, he seems to be able to get it done.
Is he giving the Snow Joe a run for its money?
Man, I'm telling you, I videotaped myself using the Snow Joe today for an upcoming story, and I am just addicted to it.
I actually saw somebody using one, and I was somewhat impressed.
You know what? Jason Kipnis yesterday,
oh brother,
on his Instagram or Facebook, tweeted a picture of, this is my new toy.
Was he riding it or something very Kipnis-like?
No, it was, he's got the same one I have, but he really likes it, and I'm telling you, they're sweeping the nation.
Oh, I see what you did there. It's like you're a marketing genius.
That's right.
Sweeping the nation. All right, still ahead for us. Little Caesars is raising the price on its hot and ready pizza for the first time in 2 decades, and it's all thanks to inflation. We'll break down what other popular food chains are doing to make up for the rise in costs.
Then the What's New Olympics is coming back, but we need your help. We're going to explain how you get to decide what challenges we compete in.
And then when you are online, your email is your identity, and companies are sharing your information. But there is one thing that you can do to stop them. We'll have information on that on the flip.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
Here are the 3 things you need to know at 5:30. Mailbox thieves are accused of taking hundreds of thousands of dollars across Northeast Ohio. Authorities believe someone likely got their hands on a master key to some of the blue collection boxes. Thefts have been happening in several areas around Cleveland, including Parma. That's where about $300,000 has been stolen. Police and local officials we talked to say it may be best to avoid using these blue boxes altogether, at least for now. The alternative is, of course, to take your mail into a post office location.
Well, Northeast Ohio, through wind and rain and snow and cold and dark of night, our Postal Service delivers. But boy, they have some challenges tonight and for the next couple days. We do have some lake effect snow that'll be coming our way. Winter weather advisories posted for Lake and Ashtabula counties, but all of us will be getting in on the frigid temperatures that are just beginning to pour into the area. We're down into the single digits, even some below zero areas tonight. Tomorrow, we don't make it out of the teens. Matt will have another update on your forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
And we want to update you now on the COVID-19 numbers we reported in the first half hour of our program. We told you they were at 4,100. But it appears that case count is way down because the state announced that all cases were not reported because of a processing error at one of its labs. Normally they put an asterisk next to that number to indicate that there is a reason why it is either so high or so low. They did not do that today. We'll let you know when those cases are finally reported. As for some sort of context, yesterday our daily number was 9,000, which is still a huge drop from our 21-day average of over 20,000 cases. So the hope is, and all indications are that this is the way things are going now, these numbers are trending downward. We saw in South Africa, which is where the Omicron variant first started, and then again later in UK, that you had this huge spike of cases.
Right.
And it was way more transmissible than any variant we'd seen before. But just as quickly as Omicron came to South Africa and UK, it left. And now the cases there are way, way down. And we've seen a lot of evidence that we're heading in that direction here. And experts say by the end of this month that we'll be on the big decline.
Well, and keep in mind, those are all the reported cases.
Yeah.
There's so many people taking the at-home tests and not reporting the outcome.
Yeah.
So you know that there's more cases that are out there. They're just not official.
That scientists were using early in the outbreak was for every case we know about, there's likely 8 we don't know about.
Wow.
Now, if that's the case, over the last 3 weeks, we've had almost 500,000 cases.
Think about how many people that you know, though.
Oh,
and I mean, all the school emails, the work emails. It was like, oh my gosh, it's everywhere.
Well, if you use that formula of for every case we know about, there's 8 we don't,
right?
And we had 500,000 cases in the last 3 weeks. That means that we likely had 4 million cases.
Can you imagine?
Well, that's 35% of our entire state's population.
Well, we're going for herd immunity. That was a good jump. That's
one way to get there, yeah. With that, we welcome you back into the second half hour of What's New with Betsy. I'm Jay, and we're going right to our top talk.
We sure are. The word inflation comes with a lot of numbers that can be hard to digest. So today we're putting into perspective just what it means when we say decades of high levels of inflation. NBC's Tom Costello shows us how much more we're paying when we treat ourselves to something like a fast food meal.
Whether you're grabbing a bite to eat or supermarket shopping, everybody's shelling out more cash these days. And just as we're seeing value meals return to some fast food menus, rising food and labor costs are leading many chains to also hike prices. Little Caesars raising the price of its signature hot and ready pizza for the first time in 2 decades, from $5 to $5.55. At Popeyes, you'll now pay $1 more if you order the popular big box deal in person. And Domino's Pizza, also looking to drive digital growth, announcing that its classic $7.99 deal will only be offered online, and you'll only get 8 wings instead of 10.
These cost increases are certainly tough to absorb. We are taking some pricing actions, this year relative to our national offers, and our franchisees at the local level have tools to adjust their menu prices and their delivery fees.
The ongoing supply chain crisis is also impacting menus. On Chick-fil-A's app, this warning to customers that some menu items may be unavailable or prepared differently. Inflation is also taking a toll on sit-down dining. Jelaine Upwin is the owner of Max Downtown in El Paso, Texas.
The prices have tripled. It's outrageous.
Even buying the basics is a challenge.
It's ridiculous that we can't go to Sam's and get ketchup because they're out of ketchup for weeks at a time. It took me 2 months to get straws. I couldn't get straws, individually packaged straws. I was like, what do you mean I can't get straws?
The cost of eating at home is soaring. Groceries, or the Food at Home Index, rose 6.5% in 2021. That's the largest year-over-year increase in 13 years. And many big food manufacturers, including General Mills and Campbell Soup, predict more price hikes later this month. Empty shelves and rising costs are leading to a growing demand for store-brand items, less costly and sometimes more available.
Until we have the pandemic behind us and until we take the steps we need to make the supply chains resilient for the long term, we're going to continue to face issues any given month.
Grocery shopping is a startling experience.
Yeah, it really is.
What?
First, if you can find it.
How much per pound is that?
And then the price.
Yeah. And it's interesting, I think, I always think about it in my own world, right? So at the grocery store, what I see. But when you think about the restaurants, like the gal in the story was saying, I can't find prepackaged straws.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's kind of a big deal, especially when you're used to having those. But if drinks are a big part of your income or your revenue at your store, that's a big problem.
It is. And usually, a lot of times we see Wall Street lead the way from Main Street. But what's interesting, over the last couple of weeks, we're feeling it on Main Street with the inflation, but now Wall Street is really responding. All three indices down big again today. Over the last week, the NASDAQ has lost 10% of its value. I mean, we're talking billions of dollars here. So Main Street now is actually leading the reverberations to Wall Street. And then oftentimes companies start cutting back on their workforce.
Right.
That's why it's so tough to get out of this downward spiral, because it's like a chicken or the egg. Which came first? Was it the bad economy or the reaction to it? And most economists say that 2022 looks like a grim year.
We should dig around and get an update on the containers sitting off of California.
Remember that? Yeah.
How stacked up they were, because that's where the straws and the ketchup are, guaranteed.
Yeah, where straws are out in the ocean. And not in the ocean, in boxes. All right, the Winter Olympics are just a few weeks away. You'll, of course, see them right here on NBC3. And during the Summer Olympics, our What's New family decided we were going to have a little battle of our own. Well, we're bringing it back, but we need your help. Here's our Mike Polk Jr. with how you can help decide what challenges we will participate in.
Last year, the What's New crew commemorated the Summer Olympics by taking to the field of play themselves to compete in a formidable gauntlet of events that challenge their bodies, challenge their minds, and challenge my patience as the referee. Now, with the Winter Olympics fast approaching, Team Jay and Team Betsy are ready to square off once again in an epic battle of the stars. This time featuring exhilarating winter-themed competitions that have yet to be determined. Seriously, we could really use some help with this. If any of you have any ideas on what we should have them do, please fire away. This is your chance to suggest events, trivia topics. Hey, we might even invite you to join in on the fun. Just drop a comment with your suggestion on our What's New Facebook page and get ready for some serious competition. Oh, it's cold.
This terrifies me.
I know, me too.
I'm scared, Jay.
I am too.
I'm scared.
Because who knows what the viewers are going to come up with. I mean, we had a blast, though, doing the Summer Olympic Games.
Oh, it was so much fun.
So I'm looking forward to it.
We found out that Jay is not the only competitive one in this place.
No, definitely not. But I'll tell you that it sticks in my craw that you guys beat us. Revenge is the theme of the Winter Games.
Nerds win.
Yeah, they got us. All right, so you can help. Go to this post on the 3 What's New Facebook page. And by the way, if you're not a member yet, you can ask for admission and we'll let you in. It tells you it asks you what kind of challenges you think you'd like to see us compete in during the Olympics. We'll pick a couple of the best ones and let the games begin.
Doris says building the best snowman. Victor says sledding. These are all just literally they're populating right now.
Yeah.
So Mike says sticking your tongue to a flagpole.
Yeah, that won't happen.
Okay.
Well, I know the viewers won't let us down. They'll come through.
There'll be some creative things for sure. Oh, well, we'll try and have fun with that.
I know we'll have fun
And
with
lots
that.
of ibuprofen. That's probably going to happen for sure. All right. Well, Aaron Rodgers coming to Cleveland. Have you heard this rumor?
I have.
That's been going around. But we're going to break down the odds of landing the star QB, and they're better than you might think, so some say. But we're going to have those details.
I'm a realist. I don't want anybody to get their hopes up. I really
Drama, right?
Yeah,
I think we need drama.
Then your email says a lot about you, and it's one way big companies share your personal information. In today's Tech Tuesday, which is coming up, we'll show you ways to keep your personal information private. We're all looking to do that. First, though, here's Matt, our weather in a jiffy. What is it today?
Anyone else go through this morning? It's been so cloudy last couple days. See, open the shades. You're like, just another one of these days. And then, what on earth? It's great,
right?
But it's so bright.
It's like walking out of a movie theater.
Right. All right. We've got how much longer this lasts and more cold in the forecast coming up.
Yes, I do. This is what's clicking Cleveland today. The odds that Aaron Rodgers comes to Cleveland. Thanks. Well, the betting odds for Cleveland are plus 750. So, but it's the
Ice fishing, ice dancing, snow angel competition. I like that one.
Yeah, that could be good.
Lots of stuff to do with snowballs as well. These are all some of the
Snowball fight in there?
suggestions. No, just like target practice, which actually could be kind of fun. Peyton piped up and goes, "Who's the target?" I'm like, I like the way that girl thinks, for sure. All right.
Not Matt. He is not going to be the target.
So the big question is, how long do we have this snow? Because obviously that's a kind of a big part of the Winter Olympics.
Yeah, that's a great question. And looking at next week's models, one of the models, the Euro has us at 65 degrees next Thursday. Not saying that's going to happen, but certainly some changes next week. Let's get to Matt's stats, guys. I don't know. I know. This is going to be a tough
Forgot about
one.
this.
0 is the number today. Is 0 the number of 50-degree days that we've seen so far this winter? The number of times that Jay has said it's cold today? Is it the temperature you should set your freezer at? Or is it the number of shoes in Betsy's workspace? 0, okay?
Oh, I know this one. I know it.
Okay, very good, Jay.
All right.
Keep it to yourself.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
will.
All right, so that's your Matt stats for the day. We'll answer that at the end of the newscast or weathercast here. All right, frigid air continues to move into northeast Ohio. This is another bout of cold air that will stay over the next 2 days. It is kicking off some lake effect snow as that initial push comes across. Look at how the clouds have increased from Lake Michigan. Some of that moisture now getting across Lake Erie. Already starting to see some snow develop. We get the moisture not just off of our lake, but some priming, we call it, off of other lakes. So that's what we're really relying on for this event across areas of Lake Michigan to get some of that moisture. But look at the flurries kicking off from Lorain to Oberlin down towards Wellington. It'll be probably an area-wide snow shower that kind of moves through, and then we'll watch some of the lake effect setup targeting areas of Lake and Ashtabula County up towards Erie. That's where your winter weather advisory is in effect. A couple inches possible by tomorrow morning before it's all said and done. National Design Mart hour-by-hour forecast. Here come the lake snows. Notice how they kind of blossom on radar over the next couple hours. Then they should kind of be fine-tuned out towards the east. Otherwise, we're cold, bone-chilling cold tomorrow morning as this Arctic air settles in. We'll see a mix of clouds and sun after that. Lake snow clears tomorrow afternoon. We're going to struggle to get out of the teens, and then we're talking another very, very cold morning on Thursday morning with lows likely below zero inland. How much snow? A couple inches, as I mentioned, up towards the north and the east. Big question is on the modeling. Does some of these bands get into northern Geauga, Cuyahoga County? We'll see over time what happens with that, but the primary probability is that it's out towards Lake and Ashtabula County. Wind chill forecast as we go through time. We've got that cold air sinking in now. Another hit comes after this on Friday and Saturday. They had wind chills this morning up in Minnesota, minus 41. It was just so cold up there, even for them. For us, our cold mornings tomorrow, Thursday morning. We get a little break Friday morning. Then we're back to the cold Saturday and Sunday. National news is going to be this doozy on the East Coast this weekend. Front will settle in across our area, bringing scattered snow on Friday. That has that cold air behind it. But as this wave meets up with another wave coming out of the Gulf, look at this storm that spins up. This has been picked up on the models the last 7 days. This is going to be a monster storm, likely a blizzard up and down the eastern seaboard. I would not be surprised before it's all said and done if they end up with 30, 40 inches of snow. Not kidding out of this. It is going to be a crippling storm this weekend up the eastern seaboard. We'll have to watch the track of that. Chances are it doesn't shift far enough west for us to really see impacts other than some wind. But Union Home Mortgage 7-day forecast, we have partly cloudy skies, maybe some flurries on Saturday from that. And then we warm up next week out ahead of a pattern change. It's going to be really interesting next week. All right, guys, zero's the number.
Yeah, I'm going C. That's the right answer.
Betsy, he's confident.
If you want to get it right, go C.
I think
I mean, you know how many shoes you have at your workstation.
I actually do.
It's a lot more than zero.
It is significantly.
I've tripped over her shoes at her
Oh,
workstation.
you have not.
Okay,
They are
it's
on
an
a
exaggeration.
shoe rack.
It's an exaggeration. I bet someone has tripped.
I brought in a shoe rack for
They're
them.
really organized, Jay. They are. I had to go check to make sure.
What's your number?
I'm going to say, it's winter, meaning the season of winter specifically, or meteorological winter?
Meteorological winter.
So December, January, February.
Yeah.
Dang. I'm going to say C.
Yeah, it's C. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
See? After all that, she finally followed her co-host's lead and she got it right.
First one I've gotten right.
Set your freezer at zero.
I want to tell you.
Thanks for carrying me.
Matt, it killed her to go along with me on that. It killed her to do it.
I saw the struggle.
Struggle
Thanks,
is
Matt.
real.
Nice job, guys.
Good job, Bets.
Thanks.
All right, time now to see what's clicking in Cleveland. So we get to say hello to Stephanie Haney. Hi, Stephanie. I really like your content today. I like what's in there. I took a peek earlier. I'm excited about this.
Quite the mix today, quite the mix. We are starting out with a little bit of an emotional moment. We do have a final message to share from our beloved Golden Girl, Betty White, so let's play it now.
I just want to thank you all for your love and support over the years. Thank you so much, and stick around.
Now, this was recorded, of course, before she passed away on New Year's Eve and was meant to be shared after she turned 100 last week. But rest assured, Betty White, even though you are no longer with us, your fans are sticking around with you, and that includes a lot of us here in Northeast Ohio. Now, it is no secret that Aaron Rodgers does not want to stick around in Green Bay, but where will he go? It may surprise you to learn that the Cleveland Browns have the 5th best betting odds of signing the quarterback. That's according to Bet Online. The Browns come in behind the Denver Broncos with the best odds, followed by the Pittsburgh Steelers, that would be interesting, the Miami Dolphins, and the Philadelphia Eagles. And let me just say, I'll add my voice to this, I just think that would be weird having Aaron Rodgers here in Cleveland. So we'll see what happens, right? And for the second episode in a row, Ohio's Shanae Ankney was the center of attention on The Bachelor, but not necessarily for the right reasons. She could be getting the classic villain edit. Now, before this Baywatch-themed group date, she got a very chilly reception from another woman on the show, Elizabeth. Elizabeth said she ate too much shrimp. So Shanae told Clayton she felt bullied, and then we saw a clip of her saying that she was proud of herself for crying. And then while watching the show last night, she posted this video and said the episode made her hungry for shrimp. Now, I love a petty response. I think that video is next level petty. It was absolutely hilarious, Jay and Betsy. But here's the thing that we need to point out. It did really seem like producers edited in a line of her saying, "He believed me," and it made it look like she was lying about the bullying thing. So a little bit tricky there. Possible she's getting the villain edit, possible she is the villain, but it's been fun to watch.
She's, one way or another, she's embracing it. So you might as well.
And she's from Northeast Ohio, so we all love her no matter what.
Yeah.
That's right. Sycamore.
Thanks, Stephanie.
Thank you. All right, still ahead for us, everybody. Our every move is being tracked and shared on the internet. Until now, we'll share with you one step that you can take to keep big businesses from sharing your identity.
Drink it. All right, welcome back to What's New, Tech Tuesday now. And today we're talking about something just about all of us can relate to, and that's big companies that track every move we make, and then they share those movements with other companies.
Do I accept cookies or do I not accept cookies? That is the question.
I love cookies.
Not those cookies, the online cookies. Keep in mind, Consumer Reports says there is one very simple thing you can do to protect your personal identity. 3 News' Lena Lai explains.
These days, many big tech companies are sharing details about almost everything you do on the internet.
The last thing that I Googled was a USPS tracking number.
That includes what you search, the websites you visit, and the people you connect with online. But how do they know who you are?
One of the main ways that they do it is tying your identity together using your email address.
If you want to limit that, Consumer Report says you might want to try an alternative or fake email service.
There are a number of these tools and they all work a little bit differently, but basically they give you an alternative email that isn't tied to your real identity that you can plug in when you're signing up on a new website.
Maybe you've seen Sign In with Apple on some sites. It generates a random unique email address for Apple users. Then, any emails from that site can be forwarded to your regular inbox without them ever knowing your real address. The upside? You get the emails you need without being tracked. The Firefox browser offers Firefox Relay, allowing users to create up to 5 fake email addresses for free or get unlimited ones for 99 cents a month.
And then there are a number of temporary email services that give you an email inbox that you can use, but it self-destructs after about 10 minutes.
For most temporary email services, you don't even have to create an account. 10-minute mail, temp mail, minute inbox, and email on deck are popular services. When would something like this come in handy? Well, maybe when you're asked for an email address to get an instant online discount. And the added bonus to using any fake email address, less spam in your real inbox. Lena Lai, 3 News.
All right, Lena, thank you very much. Speaking of email and inboxes, wait until you hear the story of what one woman found in her spam folder. It's pretty crazy, and it's next. Fluff and stuff.
Hey, Al, how are you? Good evening, and thanks for being with us tonight. I'm Russ Mitchell, and I'm Laura Queso. Tonight, winter continues.
Mic check, hello, hello. So if you were wondering, here's how Pfizer says their clinical trial will work. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Annie Abraham here talking about mail thefts here in the city and surrounding communities.
Hey, mic check, 1, 2, 3. Mic check, 1, 2, 3. Laura Queso's mic. You know, also, since we were talking about cars yesterday,
Hey there. Check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Still checking from the basement, talking about the IX Center. The Ferris wheel closed permanently. Thank you.
Our show is Something Good is really good today. Comes from Michigan. 55-year-old Laura Spears, pictured here, found out she won $3 million in a mega lottery jackpot days after the drawing. The Michigan woman played online for the December 31st drawing, but the email telling her she had won went to her spam folder. Oh. So a couple of days go by and she decided to check that folder, and there was the email telling her that she was the big winner. Why can't I get some spam email like that?
I just blanket delete spam emails.
I do
so
too.
I'm thinking maybe I should rethink that. Of course, I have to play the lottery in order to get the notification.
Yeah. So
But-
you probably never got that spam email.
$3 million.
But congrats to her. We're out of time. Back tomorrow at 5, and we hope to see you then.
What matters most with Russ and Laura starts right now.
Now it's 6, cold and more snow. Adding more weather woes, the temperatures are about to dip with more snow on the way. We're tracking it all. Also, missing mail and more. New threats against letter carriers, robbed at gunpoint, letters and packages stolen. We'll tell you about the new security concerns for Northeast Ohio post offices. Targeting Omicron.
It's going to be very easy for this virus to mutate and then essentially ping pong around the globe.
Testing is now underway on a new vaccine that could wipe out the COVID variant that's so contagious and spreading around the world. And one to remember.
They are calling this the blizzard of 1978.
If you think this week's weather is bad, we'll take you back to the winter of 1978 to one of the worst blizzards in Ohio ever.
From the WKYC studios, this is What Matters Most.
And good evening. Thanks for being with us. I'm Russ Mitchell.
And I'm Laura Queso. Tonight, winter continues its icy grip across Northeast Ohio.
Looked pretty deceiving outside today. The sun was shining. That was nice. But it was still cold. And it's going to get even colder tonight with some snow in the mix. The chief has been tracking it all. In addition to anchoring the 5 o'clock show, she's busy today. She's got the latest for us. Hey, Betsy.
Basically, I'm here to tell you it's the end of January in Northeast Ohio, and we have cold and snow coming our way tonight and for the day tomorrow.